Matt Haig once said, "I always think the quickest way to understand someone is to look at what is on their bookshelves."
This is Between the Bookends from Bookends in North Myrtle Beach along the beautiful coast of South Carolina with your host, Mindy, and me, I'm Scott Richards.
Hi, book friends. Welcome to Between the Bookends, your friendly North Myrtle Beach podcast where we celebrate what we've been reading recently. I'm Mindy from Bookends, here with Scott Richards, and we are excited to share some great book suggestions with you today.
Bookshelves.
Yeah. And not in a judgy way. Not that I'm judging someone's bookshelves, but I think you can learn a lot about them.
Oh, I judge.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying
you
to
judge too.
Yeah.
I honestly, if you have bookshelves and they're loaded with books, I'm impressed.
That's true. But I am super curious about...
Yes, I am.
Because honestly, it's when I find ones that I know or loved, I feel a connection before I've even made a connection.
Right. We were at some friend's house Saturday night, and she has a nice little library area, and looking at all the books, some of which I've read and loved, some of which I haven't read, some of which not my cup of tea, but I'm so impressed that she does not get rid of books, and she has a library.
Yeah. But I think if you went into someone's house and you're looking on there and it's all the books that you strongly disagree with or don't like, I might think,
I'm a little judgy.
I gotta go. I gotta leave a little early.
Well, I think, and some of that would be, the nonfiction, political, that stuff.
True,
it's I gotta be a little careful on that. But fiction, unless I'm not a romance reader, and if that's what you love, so be it. But I'm not going to be scouring.
I think you can tell a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that you keep your books.
Yeah.
Because, as you know, in the bookstore business, there's a lot of people that don't keep them.
Well, and a lot of times that's because of space and or they're such voracious readers that they're going through, that kind of thing.
Anna Quindlen once wrote a short story about not enough bookshelves. And she was I just got to build more bookshelves, which I think is absolutely terrific.
Yeah. My husband says that all the time. I don't know whether you like books or bookshelves better. And I was like, yes.
Yeah. Not everybody in my house agrees with me.
Well, I understand that too.
So.
What have you been reading?
The first book I want to talk about is called The Hardest, Longest Race, Henry Ford and the Cross-Country Contest That Changed America. This is nonfiction.
You find the coolest books.
Eric Moskowitz. This popped up on a website or something, and this book is set in 1909.
Okay.
And I have to tell you, I started this book, and maybe 2 chapters in, I thought, I don't know if I'm going to keep going. But I realized after I gave it a little more time, I became fascinated and intrigued. Some of it is, it's 1909.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's a little
so different.
But the perspective is also of today, kind of how did we do this today? It is the ocean-to-ocean race from New York to Seattle, the World's Fair in Seattle. This is 1909. The race started with 18 car manufacturers.
Oh, an actual race?
No, an actual race.
Okay.
18 cars signed up. When the day of the race came, there were only 4 cars. But it was still great because Henry Ford said, we're doing this. Guggenheim's backed it. 2 Model T Fords. And then an Itala, don't know, and a car called a Shawmoot.
Okay.
Shaw, M-U-T, Shawmoot. So there's the backstory on those makers. The beginning was kind of automotive-y, but as they got on the road, I realized this is a slice of Americana going west when there really aren't a lot of roads.
Yeah.
And finding places to stop at hotels, at neighbors' homes, at a lot of unique places. How do I get across that river?
Right.
How do I go up the mountain? How do I come down the mountain? And these cars are really early model cars. The difference is the Model Ts were small, light, stripped down. The Shawmoot car was a bit of a heavier, bigger, more powerful car. Here's the thing, and you learn this right at the very beginning. Henry Ford wanted to win this race. So he did. He cheated.
Oh, really?
Yes. It was not a legitimate victory. His car crossed first, and he claimed the victory. But the rules and the committee went back and said, no, you did some things that were, but it didn't matter because he sort of ignored that ruling. He said, no, I got the trophy. I won.
All right.
It's small town America at its very best. And it was just a hoot to think at the beginning of automobiles, we didn't have them.
Right.
We had a horse and buggy, and that first automobile, my goodness, they're flying through town at 30 miles an hour. Just the whole...
Wild and crazy times.
It was a blast.
That is
Eric
very
Moskowitz, the hardest, longest race. And this is just before Henry Ford really expanded. He had his factories. One of the things that helped him take advantage of it is that he still had dealerships sprinkling up. And so those dealerships were able to provide some quote-unquote assistance where the other dealers didn't. The Shawmut, the author's not making this a specific claim, but probably the Shawmut actually did win. But if they had won and gotten the publicity, perhaps they wouldn't have disappeared.
Yeah.
Because at that time, it was like winning a Super Bowl.
Right.
Or more. So, just a hoot. Really good.
That's so interesting. My first book to share is the book we just discussed at Bookends Book Club this past weekend. It's called The Names by Florence Knapp. And it is the story. It begins with Cora. She's the mom, and she's going to register the birth of her newborn son. And therefore, it finalizes the paperwork for his name. You know, she's with her 9-year-old daughter, Maya, and Cora is trapped in a terrible relationship in her marriage. Her husband's name is Gordon. He's a highly respected doctor, and he demands that the son be named after him. He wants the junior, that kind of thing. And at the registrar's office, she hesitates, and because she doesn't want to name the baby Gordon. And so the book splits into 3 parallel timelines based on her decision at that registrar's office. And it moves forward, but it is really not just about you've got 3 different names.
Alternate reality?
It is just straight 3 separate stories. If this had happened, if this had happened, or if this had happened.
Okay.
So if she had named him Gordon,
what would happen?
This is the life, and she goes in like 7-year increments and all the way through adulthood, and what would have happened. But if I
named him Tom, or
I had named him Bear, which is one of the choices because that's what the little sister had picked, then this is the life that they would have picked. And if I had named him Julian, which is the name that the mother wanted for him, this is a life that would have happened. And it seems like, that's a kind of lighthearted story of what the effect is of a name on one's life, and that is, I guess, a little bit of it, but it is really so much more. It is actually exploring how this one decision can send a domino of effects that really, really actually make a much bigger plunge in the little ripples of your life than just
because
the name.
Of the name.
Well, because of the reaction and what happens. It's hard to explain without giving it away, but it deeply explores domestic abuse, which you would not expect at all.
Trigger warning.
From the cover, from the description, from the idea. It has the idea of nature versus nurture, which is something that has always fascinated me. And also the cyclical nature of generational trauma and how does it end? Can it end? How do you break those cycles? So I thought she did a tremendous job of portraying 3 very different but very realistic and probable possibilities of how your life can turn out depending on circumstances with your family. It's so much more than just the names, and it sparked a lot of great discussion. So I think it's a great book for book clubs to do, or for those readers that like a book that makes them think even after you finish the page. It is one, I read this last year and still think about it. And I just think it's just, it's just a very different concept. And she did a great job with it. So a good thinker.
Florence Knapp.
Names.
K-N-A-P-P.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
The next book on my list that we finished, the book is called The Matchbox Girl by Alice Jolly. This is a fiction based on true history. And the word that I think I used when I posted it on one of your Facebook pages, and when I finished the book and when I'm thinking about it, it is a devastating book.
Oh.
And I say that, I guess it's not a positive way to describe a book, but it's important.
That's true. Right,
It
right,
is
right.
very important. And it begins in 1934, and it goes for about, well, realistically, maybe a dozen years. It's a little odd in some ways because the book begins that the narrator is writing after her death.
Okay. As one does.
Well, apparently, yeah. This is a 14-year-old girl in Vienna, and she is autistic.
Okay.
She
that's right. I do remember you saying
She
that.
does not speak.
Okay.
Her name is Adelheid. I think I'm saying that. Adelheid. And she is fortunate enough, in some ways, she is sent to the Vienna Children's Hospital. And that is a hospital for children that are different. And that's all. It's just they're different. And there's a Dr. A that is in charge there. Well, we assume very quickly that Dr. A is Dr. Asperger, as in Asperger's syndrome.
Okay.
Everything is a little quirky, sometimes a little amusing, because Adelheid is far smarter than people think. She has autistic tendencies, but much of the book focuses on the strengths of these children.
Yeah, yeah.
Then the Nazis come in. There are choices to be made by Dr. A and
Right.
other people at the hospital, and the value of the least among us.
Ooh.
And it's not a graphic book, but children are sent away because they're not considered valuable. It doesn't judge who is good, who is bad. Is it absolute evil and absolute good, or are we all somewhere in the middle? And there were a lot of good things, and then there were some things that weren't good. And it is all based on the true history. And at the end of the book, the author is talking about Dr. Asperger and some of the other characters that are mentioned and what happened to them and where did they go. I think it's an important, powerful book about power and the judgment of the least among us.
Yeah, yeah.
It had a great impact, but it's
A hard read.
a hard read, but you grow to love this character. She's smart,
That's
and
true.
she's bright and capable, and it's like you root for her.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Exceptional.
It is always embarrassingly makes me aware of how war affects every component. You know, like I just forget that it's going to affect that special hospital for those children, as well as, you know, just things, every little piece of the community and society. And it takes a book like that to remind me.
And it does a really good job about Vienna in Austria during that period of 1934 through 1945. They thought they were safe, that we were not part of the war, and then we were, and now I can't find anything to eat. And where is my daughter? And why is she not at the hospital? And then there's the mother of one of the boys that has been sent away who's taking up with a Nazi, and she thinks that's fine.
Yeah.
Powerful book.
Wow. My next book to share is called Based on a True Story by Sarah Vaughan. This is a mystery, a fun little twisty mystery. This is the story of Eleanor. She is a highly successful children's book author and has decided for her 70th birthday that she's going to have this lavish party to celebrate. And everyone is invited. Her friends are coming. Her family's there. She's even gotten a film crew to come and document her story of, you know, how she became an author and her success and everything. However, the night before the party, she gets an anonymous email threatening to expose this dark secret that she has about how she has been so successful for these 50 years. So she's on edge a little. She's like, this is not going to go well at this party. So at the party, the arrival of like these several thugs or heavies, I don't know what you call them, arrive and kind of sneak into the party and sends several different guests into a panic. Obviously, it sends Eleanor because she thinks they're there to expose this secret. But there's also her son-in-law who has, unbeknownst to everyone, has this hidden huge gambling problem that no one knows about. And then the daughter is her publicist, and she thinks that they are causing a spectacle. So it's like these people arrive and everyone is assuming, because everyone there has so many secrets to hide, they think they're all about to be exposed. So a slight bit of comedy, which I loved. And so it's the reader is left to decide who is really in trouble, what is really going to happen. So it was a very fun mystery, and I always love it when it's about books and publishing and that kind of thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It started with a dead body in the first chapter, so, just like cut right to it. I like that. And then it goes back a few days leading up to the party, and I love that. I guess it's kind of like a instant spoiler. There's going to be a dead body.
But how did I get there?
Right, and you don't know who it is. Right. So you're like, all right, who at this party is going to end up in 3 days dead, and who is the one that caused that to happen? So the family is completely dysfunctional, and everyone could be to blame. So it makes it a fun mystery to try.
What's it called again?
It is called Based on a True Story by Sarah Vaughan.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. The other book I want to talk about is Kate Moss, The Map of Bones. The Map of Bones is the fourth in a series, and it's the final in this series. And I thought it was terrific, but I didn't realize till I went back and looked. The first in the book, first in the series, opens with about 2 paragraphs. And those 2 paragraphs are at the end of this book.
That is genius.
Almost the end of the book, not quite. But I realized she knew where this story was going when she started this.
That is so cool.
7, 8, 10 years ago, whatever it was. I didn't find that out until I went back and looked. Basically, it's not basic. It is a broad history of the Joubert family over hundreds of years, starting in the 1500s and all the way through 1862. And it's somewhat the story of the Huguenots versus Catholics.
Okay.
You say that like you know what the Huguenots are.
Well, I remember that in history, right?
I had to look it up.
Okay.
It's French Protestants.
Gotcha.
So Catholics, Protestants, and apparently there were some violent wars, and the Joubert family was at the top of the chain and then at the bottom of the chain, and they traveled all over the world. This book ends up in South Africa. That was controlled by the Dutch at the time.
Right.
I don't think it's important that you read them in order because there's enough references to the history before, so you don't get too dragged down in that. It's basically the story. This is the story of 2 women 150 years apart. And the second half is Isabel, and she's in 1862 in South Africa. And in many ways, it is a rollicking adventure. From horseback riding to sword fights, it is a blast. And when I look, because I keep a list of all the books, and when I looked back at the first book, my comments was, I loved it.
Oh, that's great.
And I did. And then this book, it's the same way. I just loved the adventure. It's got a little romance, but it's not a romance at all. It is about very strong, opinionated, fully capable women in an era when that was not accepted.
Right.
And they survive. The Map of Bones by Kate Moss, Mosse. She is terrific.
Oh, that's excellent. That is a brand new name, cover, title, all of that.
Just great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. My favorite read recently is the new book from David Sedaris. I love him as an author. I have
never read him, and I probably should.
His newest book is The Land and Its People. He writes, he's a humorist, and he's known for his humor, his commentary on fairly ordinary events, but he can, capture them in very entertaining ways. So I'm pretty sure all of his books are essays. They're short little snippets. And so I also love that to have on hand, that you can work your way through.
Yes.
This is almost maybe his 15th book. I mean, I think he's written a lot. And so I will admit that I thought, okay, maybe he's all out of his antics. I don't know. But nope, it was great. I loved it. His writing was witty. His observations were as strong as ever. And it's just the collection of essays and observations that explore aging, and he travels a lot, so there's global travel little stories in there, family dynamics, and my favorite, the absurdities of human behavior. I mean, he'll just kind of hone in on the subway, like this one thing happens and he's like, this is utterly ridiculous, and he can morph it into something very, very humorous. So
he's got a sister that's a humorist too, isn't it? Amy Sedaris?
Yes. And he talks about her. Yes. Yeah. So he has a very clever way of coining a phrase, and his wit makes it just a pleasure to read. He's talking about aging, hip replacements. He's on Duolingo, and you can have a streak of how far how many days in a row you do that. He was riding a donkey. I mean, there's just, it's a little bit of everything. Highly entertaining.
Great.
I love that. And I always need those kind of in between. So it's always fun for me to find
don't we?
those.
It's
for sure.
That's why I always have like a nonfiction. It's like I need a little palate cleanser.
Yes. And so he's for any time, every time, I think. I always like having his.
The land and its people.
Yeah. And I think that basically is because he was traveling and he can find ridiculous humans all across the lands.
Not hard to find, yeah. Not that we don't have them here.
Yeah, so he finds them all around and shares them in that story. So that was a very fun read. All right, so to recap for me, I read The Names by Florence Knapp, based on a true story by Sarah Vaughan, The Land and Its People by David Sedaris.
And my books were The Hardest, Longest Race, Henry Ford and the Cross Country Contest That Changed America, and The Matchbox Girl by Alice Jolly and Kate Moss, the fourth and conclusion in her series of the Joubert family, The Map of Bones.
This is a great title.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your suggestions. Here's hoping our listeners have bookshelves full of books that represent who they really are. Don't forget to stop by Bookends to find these and other titles. We'd love to see you in the store, to browse the shelves, chat about books, and pick up your next great read. If you're shopping online, you can still support Bookends by ordering through bookshop.org. You'll get your books delivered right to your door, and your purchase supports Bookends, which we greatly appreciate. They even have ebooks there if you are a Kindle reader. If you are an audiobook listener, Libro.fm.
Is that both? Yeah, you're a reader.
Yeah, reader and listener. Libro.fm has these titles for your listening pleasure, and they support our store as well. So however you read, print, digital, audio, thank you for supporting Bookends. Happy reading.